5 years ago, on a rainy Thursday night, Huiyan vanished from Ethan Lin's life. She left nothing behind. No call, no warning, not even a tear-stained goodbye. Just a folded piece of paper on his desk, soaked at the corner from her shaking hands. I never loved you. Please don't look for me. He read it once. Then again. Then sat in the silence, trying to believe that the girl who once curled up on his chest every night could walk away without a word. She did. But not because she stopped loving him. Back then, Huiyan was a college student trying to hold her world together with hope and duct tape. She had dreams. To graduate, to design jewelry that told stories, to someday start her own line. But dreams don't protect you when your reality starts bleeding. Her father's sudden death shattered everything. His debts came to light within weeks. Loan sharks, threats, visits from men who didn't knock, just entered. Huiyan didn't cry. She calculated, if she stayed with Ethan, they would find him too, and she couldn't bear to watch the only person she loved get dragged into her family's darkness. So she made a decision. She told him the one lie he would never forgive, and disappeared. 5 years later, Huiyan was no longer the girl who flinched at shadows. She had changed her number, changed cities, and rebuilt herself from the ground up. She was now the creative director of Aster, a fast-rising jewelry brand known for its poetic elegance. Her work was in magazines, her face on invitations, her name spoken with respect. But success is a beautiful cage when your heart's still locked in someone else's memory. She never forgot Ethan. Not his laugh, not the way he looked at her like she mattered more than anything. She tried to convince herself that what she did was right. Until the night he came back. It was a gala, Aster's newest collection. Dozens of photographers, 1,000 glittering lights. Huiyan was standing under a crystal chandelier, smiling for the cameras, when the doors opened and everything stopped. He walked in like he owned the air in the room. Tall, sharp, dressed in black, eyes darker than she remembered. Ethan Lin, the boy she left behind, was gone. In his place stood a man who looked like he had built empires with his bare hands, and torn down anyone who stood in his way. He didn't flinch when he saw her. He didn't smile. He simply walked to the stage, took the mic, and announced to the world, "I've just acquired controlling shares of Aster. As of today, Huiyan works for me." It had been the longest night of Huiyan's year. The gala was over, the lights dimmed, and the cameras gone. But the weight of him, of Ethan, still clung to her like a second skin. Her heels echoed down the hallway of her apartment building, each step fueled by adrenaline and confusion and something deeper, something she didn't want to name. She had smiled through the evening like a pro, accepted congratulations, posed for photos, said all the right things, but every time she turned, she felt his gaze, steady, heavy, impossible to ignore. She slipped off her coat, tossed her purse on the table, and kicked off one heel. Her foot ached, her spine ached, her heart, well, that had been aching for 5 years. She bent down to remove the second heel. She froze. She didn't even look through the peephole. She knew it was him. The door swung open. Ethan stood there, the collar of his coat still wet from the rain. His eyes were unreadable, dark, steady, as if he'd been preparing for this moment. For years. "What are you doing here?" she snapped. "I'm not leaving," he said quietly. She stepped back instinctively, heart racing. "I didn't ask for this. Any of it." He crossed the threshold before she could stop him, like he'd done it 100 times before. Like nothing had changed. Like 5 years of silence hadn't passed between them. He didn't yell. He didn't accuse. He just moved calm and assured toward the coffee table and placed something down with precision. A manila envelope. Her eyes dropped to it, then back to his face. "What is that?" she asked, breath tight. "You don't get to disappear again," he said. His voice was low, almost gentle, but it carried weight. She slowly walked over, lifted the flap of the envelope, and pulled out a thick sheaf of paper. As her eyes scanned the title page, her fingers trembled. Absolutely no breakup. A contract, with her name on it, with his. Every clause, every line, written like a promise disguised as a threat. She let out a short, hollow laugh and tossed it back on the table. "You're insane," she whispered, unable to look at him. "This is insane. I'm not here to play games, Jan." His voice was quiet now, but it crackled with something deeper. Hurt, maybe, or something older. You left once, without a word, and I let you go. He stepped closer. I waited 5 years. I looked for you. Do you know how that felt? Knowing you were out there, alive, breathing, choosing to be anywhere but with me? She bit her lip, staring at the floor. She couldn't answer, because everything he said was true. Still, she whispered, you can't just walk back into my life and what? Own me, trap me with this? Ethan's expression softened. He knelt down beside the coffee table, his voice quieter now. I'm not trying to trap you, Yan. I'm trying to anchor you. She met his eyes then, and for a moment, she saw it. Not the powerful businessman, not the angry ex, but the boy she once kissed under fairy lights in the campus courtyard. The boy who used to stay up all night helping her finish her designs. The boy who loved her so hard. She had to leave for his sake. I'm done letting you go, he said, and just like that, her legs gave out. She sank onto the edge of the couch, staring at the contract with her pulse roaring in her ears, because the part that terrified her most wasn't the contract. It was the part of her that wanted to sign it. At first, Huiyan told herself it was just business. She stayed sharp, distant, professional. But slowly, almost cruelly, the truth leaked through the cracks. She noticed the drawer he always kept locked, filled with her old sketchbooks, the bracelet she made him when they were 19, still sitting on his desk, a photo of them, hidden behind a book on his shelf. He had never let go. One night, she found him asleep at his desk, head resting beside a ring box. She picked it up, hands trembling, and saw the date engraved inside, for Yan.August.12. That date, 5 years ago. It had been meant for her, back before everything fell apart. Her hands trembled and didn't notice his eyes slowly blinking open. But then his voice came, low, groggy, and full of something she couldn't name yet. I was going to give you that the night you left. Her throat tightened. I thought leaving would protect you. I was so scared. And you were the only good thing I had left. He didn't speak. He just let her unravel. I wanted to say yes, she whispered. But I didn't know how to stay. A long pause, then she gently set the ring box down. I'm not ready, she said, but I don't want to run anymore. His eyes softened. Then stay. No pressure, no promises, just us. She stepped into his arms, and for the first time in 5 years, she let herself be held. Now, in a sunlit apartment with coffee mugs, on the table and sketches pinned to the wall, she wakes up beside him. The morning light slips through gauzy curtains, painting soft gold across his bare shoulder. His breathing is steady, peaceful, as if, after years of war, with the world, with her, with himself, he's finally found a quiet place to rest. She watches him for a moment, not because she doesn't believe this is real, but because part of her still can't believe she gets to keep it. There's no contract anymore, no conditions, no ultimatums. He tore it up the day she said yes, not to the paper, but to him, to everything they'd been, everything they could still be. Some mornings, they still fight over coffee orders, over toothpaste caps, but never over the past, because the past doesn't own them anymore. Now she keeps her sketchbooks on his desk, and he keeps the ring box in the drawer, still unopened, not because he's waiting, but because there's no rush. They both know now. Love isn't a race. It's a rhythm, a choice, a quiet returning, again and again. One afternoon, as they're walking home with takeout and laughter spilling between them, he nudges her elbow and says, "You know, I never needed you to stay because of a contract." She stops walking, turns to face him fully, grins and says simply, "I'm not going anywhere.